of this century's most violent sport.
Jack Dempsey, George Carpentier, Gene Tunney, Max Schmeling, Primo Carnera, Max Baer, Joe Lewis, Rocky Marciano, Floyd Patterson, Sonny Liston, Cassius Clay, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Mike Tyson.
Heavyweight champions of the world, holders of sport's richest prize, the true icons of the century of moving pictures, a mirror of their age, the kings of the ring. Summer 1919, Jess Willard, the heavyweight champion of the world, took a train to Toledo, Ohio. For a purse of $100,000, he was ready to defend his title against a new pretender to the throne, the Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Willard had held the title for 4 years. He entered the ring an overweight 245 pounds, 60 pounds heavier than Dempsey. New heavyweight champion of the world. He was the latest in a list including John L. Sullivan, Gentleman Jim Corbett, Bob Fitzsimmons, James J. Jeffries, Tommy Burns, and Jack Johnson. Jack Dempsey destroyed Jess Willard on July 4th, 1919, 1 year and 1 week after the end of the First World War. The Allies who had won the war were soon to become competitors inside the ring. The Frenchman Georges Carpentier arrived to take a tilt at Dempsey's crown. Carpentier had been decorated for bravery. Dempsey was said to have dodged the draft. It was a match made in heaven by the legendary promoter Tex Rickard. Carpentier, the darling of the ladies, was a mere middleweight, lighter than Dempsey and with a shorter reach. And he was blessed with the worst nickname in the history of heavyweight boxing. They called him the Orchid Man. Public opinion was against Dempsey. The majority of boxing fans and sports writers favoured Carpentier, hoping that the Frenchman's superior technique would overcome the champion's ferocity. On July 2nd, 1921, over 90,000 spectators awaited the two fighters at the Jersey City Arena. It was the first $1 million gate in boxing history. Rickard and Jack Cairns, Dempsey's manager, wanted to give the crowd their money's worth. They had taken Dempsey aside and asked him to go easy on the little Frenchie. First-round knockouts are bad for business. For the first time in history, the media went transatlantic. 200,000 people crowded into the Place de la Concorde to hear a barely audible blow-by-blow commentary. Although Carpentier was the crowd's favourite, it was Dempsey who generated the excitement. Hunched up, head down, humming as he went, he battled forward relentlessly. Carpentier, a skillful boxer, hung on gamely, but by the end of the first round, it was looking grim for the Orchid Man. In the second round, Carpentier landed solidly, staggering Dempsey. For a brief moment, the tables were turned. But from that moment on, it was over for Carpentier. Dempsey, no longer willing to take any risks, destroyed the Frenchman with a blistering attack in the fourth round. After knocking out Carpentier and winning his next 2 championship fights, the world of showbiz beckoned Dempsey. Dempsey was courted by the giants of Hollywood, including the legendary director D.W. Griffith. He married the sultry actress Estelle Taylor, with whom he toured Europe. But while Dempsey was enjoying the high life, a new challenger emerged, Gene Tunney. A self-taught man, happy to rub shoulders with Scott Fitzgerald and Hemingway, Tunney approached boxing like a science. A successful boxer should have 2 ends in view: to avoid punishment and to make money. Cool and calculating, he studied films of his opponents and planned his fights with meticulous care. He also knew the value of good PR. Dempsey, returning to the ring after a 3-year absence, had met his match. At the beginning, His sportsmanship, as he warmly congratulated his young opponent, moved America. Defeat had finally won him the nation's heart. Tunney was hailed in his hometown of New York, but elsewhere it was a different story. Tunney was considered a snob. His intellectual pretensions and his hobnobbing with great writers of the time, most notably George Bernard Shaw, didn't endear him to the public. By the time Tunney and Dempsey fought again, there were no prizes for guessing the crowd's favourite. Gene Tunney was irritated by an indifferent crowd. People were welcome to boo him, he said, but they'd have to pay for the privilege. Tunney calmly listened to the count, finally getting up at the last second. The fight later came to be known as the Battle of the Long Count. And then in the next round it was Tunney who knocked down the great Dempsey. Dempsey and Tunney, the strong man and the educated dandy, were later to become the best of friends. Tunney retired undefeated in 1928. He set sail for the Old World and married a wealthy Greenwich heiress in Rome. When he returned to the United States, he was met with a $500,000 breach of promise suit from a divorcee who claimed he had reneged on a promise to marry her.
I'm going to give you a big kiss for France.
Say, Irene, come here.
What?
What about a kiss for America?
Oh, sure, of course.
Boy!
Now that Gene Tunney had relinquished the title, it...
Hast du dir gefallen, mein Junge?
Ja.
Und dir auch? Den Kindern hat's gefallen. Und mir hat's auch gefallen.
Max Schmeling had won his first fight with Jack Sharkey when the American was controversially disqualified for landing a low blow. Sharkey won the next fight. Now Schmeling was determined to win back the title fair and square. And there were others too, with their own reasons for wanting him to win. Throughout his career, despite pressure from the Nazis, Schmeling remained loyal to his Jewish manager, Joe Jacobs. It was Jacobs who coined the phrase, "We was robbed."
Hi, bud. How long do you have to do this? About 2 or 3 hours. Strengthens my hands, you know, makes them strong. Just turn around like that, see? Boy, I'm tired, you know?
To earn his crack at the title, Schmeling had first to fight the leading contender, Max Baer, the Sandcastle man. The Baer brothers were notorious for not taking their training seriously, especially the older brother Max. Madcap Maxie liked nothing better than clowning for the spectators. Born to a Jewish, German, Scottish family, Max Baer fought with a Star of David on his trunks. As the fight with Schmeling approached, the joking suddenly stopped. It was 1933. Max thought he'd found something worth fighting about. When the evening finally arrived, he was like a man possessed.
Schmeling on the ropes and lands with left and right hand bomb. Schmeling knows that Baer's right hand can take you out, and he tries to move away from it. Baer sets Schmeling up with a fast left to the midsection. A tremendous overhand right. Schmeling is down.
But before Max Baer could get his chance to fight for the title, a new giant emerged on the scene. It was Mussolini's favourite boxer, the Ambling Alp, Primo Carnera.
Yeah, what do you say?
What do you got? Now, just one more right here.
All right.
Can you spare the feet, Carnera?
All right.
Can you spare those feet? What I mean?
Carnera's American manager was the notorious New York racketeer, Bill Duffy.
Hey, how long have you been boxing, Primera?
Oh, well, I should say 4.5 years now.
4.5 years? What did you do before you became a boxer?
Oh, a little bit of everything. Carpentier, almost Carpentier.
You never thought when you were a carpenter that you'd ever ride on a boat like this, did you?
Oh, what do you mean? I expect to go back for Sunday, anyway.
You did, but you probably thought you'd be on one of these boats as a deckhand, didn't you?
Oh, that's so.
There it is, Jimmy. Let me see what you have to win the heavyweight championship of the world with. Open them up. Take them away. But boys, there's the handle, count the money.
Carnera beat Sharkey in 6 rounds, but the spoils belonged to others. His handlers took most of the money. Mussolini appropriated the glory. The Ambling Alp returned to Rome to a hero's welcome. His victory had become a victory for fascism. On October the 22nd, 1933, Mussolini presided over the carnival surrounding Carnera's defence of his heavyweight title against the Basque, Paulino Euskadin. Wearing a black shirt in the ring, Carnera won again. He returned to America for an exhibition tour which made his handlers $20,000, but he didn't see much of the money. With Carnera, boxing had turned into a circus, and he was the clown. He even had trouble skipping rope, but he usually beat the kangaroo. Max Baer was amused too. He could see the title within his grasp.
My female intuition tells me I'm going to win, Jack.
Well, that's
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Still preferring fun and games to real training, he was defeated by the Cinderella Man, Jimmy Braddock, a 10-to-1 underdog. But a brilliant new star was already on the rise.
Who's that?
Oh, Meyer, what's his name?
Him? Joe Louis. Joe Louis.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw more than one Joe Louis in that ring. It looked like whole Harlem was there. In this little ray of sunshine, you know, he couldn't go through those clouds. Too many dark ones.
Knocking out Max Baer was Joe Louis's wedding gift to his first wife, Marva Trotter.
Doubly happy.
Yeah,
What makes you more happy, to beat Baer or to be married to this charming lady?
I think to be married.
Was it a tough fight, Mr. Louis?
Yeah, it was a tough fight, but I think I had my toughest fight home every night.
How about a nice big kiss and finish it? Yeah.
That won't happen.
If Joe Louis was Black America's first great hero, he was also a totem of free world democracy. Hitler determined that Max Schmeling should come back and deal a blow on behalf of the Aryan race.
May the best man win.
I seen Joe Louis last December to fight Paulino. I've seen the picture of the Louis and Max Baer fight. I think I have a great chance to beat him.
Have you discovered any particular weakness in the brown bomber?
Yes, I did, but I won't tell.
You done any training for this fight, Max?
Yes, I kept always in condition.
Overconfident and certain of victory, Joe Louis showed little respect for Schmeling.
Und für das Ansehen des deutschen Volkes in Amerika gekämpft haben.
Schmeling was a reluctant hero, ill at ease performing the Nazi salute. He was not the National Socialist the press delighted in describing, any more than Carnera had ever been a true fascist. For the Nazis, Schmeling's victory was a national triumph. Further glory came in the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, where Germany won 33 gold medals against only 24 for the United States. 2 years later, it was time for Schmeling to add the final touch to Germany's athletic dominance. The return match with Louis would take place in New York, and this time the world title was at stake.
Wearing black trunks, the famous Detroit brown bomber, world's heavyweight champion, Joe Louis.
Schmeling was totally destroyed in 2 minutes and 4 seconds of the first round. In that time, 40 punches from Louis had hit their target. Schmeling returned home to Germany. This time there was no hero's welcome. He was called up as a paratrooper. Schmeling's departure also marked the end of an era, that of the great European heavyweights. Louis was perhaps the greatest heavyweight the world has ever known. He defended his title over 20 times in 4 years. It was a record that has never been matched, and probably never will be. It could have been a still greater achievement had the war not intervened.
They are fighting in the front line of civilization at this moment, and they are holding that line. From America, they need tanks and guns and ammunition. From America, they will get tanks and guns and ammunition. From America, they need planes. They will get planes. Yes, from America, they need food. And from America, they will get food. Never in all our history of America faced a job so well worthwhile.
Like millions of young Americans, Lewis was drafted. And of course, the military didn't overlook his PR potential.
This is an official message from the War Department to all you men and women who turn out equipment for our Army and Navy. I want you to meet one of the greatest fighters of all time, Sergeant Joe Lewis, a heavyweight champion of the world. Sergeant Lewis.
I wish I could talk to all you folks who wakes.
Shy and ill at ease, but always generous, Joe Lewis donated all the earnings from 2 of his fights to U.S. Army relief.
To all you folks who wait for the war. I've got an interesting job in this Army. I go around to Army camps and give boxing exhibition. Then I talk to our soldiers about training. I try to tell them all about building up big muscles. I've gone into some hard fights, but these soldiers are going in. Let's cut again.
Cut it.
All the great heavyweight champions joined the war effort. True to form, Max Baer kept on clowning while he signed up for the army. Tunney headed for the Pacific, while Dempsey, the draft dodger, joined the US Coast Guard and went on wooing the cameras at the age of 50. Some people said he had a war to catch up on. In France, the Vichy government had plans for Dempsey's old rival. They wanted to celebrate the 50th birthday of Georges Carpentier, an authentic hero of the First World War. A possibly psychosomatic bout of sciatica prevented him from putting on a show, but he was forced to participate nonetheless.
Une minute avant, la souscription populaire de la France socialiste avait valu à Carpentier chronomètre et bracelet d'or. Enfin, suprême consécration, le colonel Pasco, commissaire général au sport.
Want to know? Take a look at Brown Bomber Joe. That's what the well-dressed man in Harlem will wear. One man, shade of green, all now let's back on. Oh, that's what the well-dressed man in Harlem will wear. That's really on the big stuff. You know, the head of the tin hat for old person. That's what the well-dressed man in Harlem will wear.
Joe Lewis returned to the ring, but war had robbed him of his best years. It was a sluggish brown bomber who faced Jersey Joe Walcott on the 25th of June 1948, in the midst of the McCarthy years. In the audience were Bob Hope, the perennial wartime entertainer, J. Edgar Hoover, almighty head of the FBI, and Adolphe Menjou, silent film actor and... In the 11th round, Walcott was leading on points, boxing...
I've been champion of the world for 11 years and 3 days. I've defended my championship 25 times. I think I've been told to retire now.
What are you going to do in the future, Joe?
Well, what I'm doing in the future now is relax and play a lot of golf.
But Lewis didn't enjoy his retirement for long. Swindled repeatedly and harassed by tax collectors who had forgotten the champion's generosity during the war, Lewis attempted 2 comebacks, the last against a new rising star of the ring, Rocky Marciano. The new champion of the world, Ezard Charles, the Cincinnati Cobra, and Joe Walcott fought for the title 4 times. Walcott won the third time to take the title at the age of 37. It was time for Marciano to seize the crown. Weighing barely 13 stone, Marciano developed his power thanks to one of the most punishing training regimes boxing has ever known. He was as strong and fresh in the 15th round as he was in the first, and he was mean. To say, when Marciano landed his famous Susie Q, a short left Outside the ring, Marciano slipped easily into the showbiz world. He was the perfect champion, the idol of the post-war generation. He never put a foot wrong.
Oh, baby, please take me back with you. I love you, I still do.
I would like to announce my retirement from boxing at this time. I didn't ever really get hurt in the ring, and I feel perfect physically, and probably still had 2 or 3 good fights left. I like to profit by others' mistakes, and if Joe Louis couldn't make a successful comeback, I will not try it.
Rocky, who do you think is the best contender in the ring right today for heavyweight honors?
Well, I say that Archie Moore has a good chance, along with Floyd Patterson.
With the retirement of Marciano and the advent of the young Floyd Patterson, America had seen the last of the great white heavyweights. But the new black world champion appealed to everything that Americans liked in their fighters. But Cassius Marcellus Clay was $1 a year, plus 50% of all receipts. His first opponent was a former police officer by the name of Tunney Unsacker.
Cassius, how do you feel today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I hear you met Don Juan today. How was he?
Yeah. He wasn't too friendly.
What do you have to say?
Patterson was putty in Liston's hands. Meanwhile, in London, Clay defeated a brave Henry Cooper. Clay's excited description of the fight signalled the opening shots of a wild publicity campaign as he approached his bout with Liston.
I walked into London, England, I jumped out the airplane. Picture, cameramen, everywhere I go, you can look in the gym today, the TV, the cameramen, everybody follows me, I'm so great. And 55,000 people came that night. You should have seen the people. 1 layer, 2 layers, 10,000 on each layer, 15, 20 on some. 4 layers on the 5th layer. People were looking down on the ring. Clay comes out to meet Liston, and Liston starts to retreat. If Liston goes back an inch further, he'll end up in the ringside seat. Clay swings with his left. Clay swings with his right. Look at young Cassius carry the fight. Liston keeps backing, but there's not enough room. It's a matter of time. Clay lowers the boom. Now Liston disappears from view. The crowd is getting frantic, but our radar stations have picked him up. He is somewhere over the Atlantic. Liston is still rising, and the ref wears a frown, for he can't start counting till Tunney comes down. Who would have thought when they came to the fight that they had witnessed the launching of a human satellite?
I'm for real, man. Come over and make that offer. And you be there to see it, you hear? Man, I don't get hit. I'm the fastest thing on 2 feet, man. You crazy?
On the morning before the fight, Clay had reached fever pitch. At the weigh-in, he could barely... Badly beaten, Liston suddenly succumbed to a mysterious shoulder injury and failed to answer the bell for the 7th. Clay dropped what he called his slave name to become Muhammad Ali. Hence the boos and jeers of the white crowd as he entered the ring for his return match with Liston on May the 25th, 1965.
The heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Former heavyweight champion, Jersey Joe Walcott.
I'm not going to go with a lot of preliminaries. I know you both know the rules of Maine, so I'm in here to enforce them. So I'll say to you, keep your punches up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck. Shake hands, come out fighting.
The champion says a prayer in his corner. Clay takes the lead at the start. As he did the night he won the title, Clay uses the ring, makes Liston look slow.
By 1965, US forces in Vietnam numbered 125,000. Muhammad Ali, like most young blacks, was drafted for military service.
We believe in obeying the laws of the land. We are taught to obey the laws of the land as long as it don't conflict with our religious beliefs. Whatever the punishment, whatever the persecution is for standing up for my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing Elijah Muhammad and the religion of Islam. I'm ready to die.
By refusing to join the US Army, arguing that he saw no reason why he a $10,000 fine and was stripped of his title. At the Olympics in Mexico, while other athletes raised black glove fists on the winner's podium, the young George Foreman, winner of the heavyweight gold medal, made a point of waving the American flag.
There's a heaven in the sky, and the colored folks die and go to heaven. And where are the colored angels? They must be in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey.
Oh, that's fine. What's that?
Embalming fluid. Why wait?
As the 60s reached their end, the great white heavyweights of the century gathered for the inauguration of the new Madison Square Garden, shrine of New York boxing. Portly, but still game, Rocky Marciano, Jack Dempsey, and Gene Tunney waltzed around the ring. Meanwhile, just round the corner, singing in a small Broadway theatre, paying for his lawyers and providing for his family, was the renegade Muhammad Ali, the 26th. Then finally, on June the 28th, 1971, 8 out of 9 US Supreme Court judges declared that he had been unjustly convicted. A page in history had been turned.
Feet beneath big black balloons.
After only 2 comeback fights, Ali challenged Joe Frazier, the world champion who had inherited his crown but had never fought him. Ali had lost 3.5 years at his peak. Some said his lightning speed had gone. He wanted to prove them wrong.
Nowhere in the world from a man that don't have no footwork to catch me. Even the welterweight. Keep the camera moving because I'm kind of fast. Keep the camera moving. This is Joe Frazier fighting me. Punches around. See, this is Joe Frazier. He's trying to duck. He's catching it. And a real boxer, this is nothing but a target for a man who can stay on his toes, who can stick and stick him. stay off the range when he don't want to punch. When he's ready to punch, move in. Sit. That's what you do, a man like Joe Frazier. Back off of him and keep boxing.
He rapped off and said, "Don't you know I'm God?" So he keeps saying it, you know what I mean? Every time you throw a punch, you know, "Don't you know I'm God?" And I got onto some of them questions. I said, "Well, God, you're going to get whipped tonight."
Both men ripping, tearing, bombing punches at each other. This is what the crowd came to see. Ali tells Joe, "Come on back." And come back he does. Ali almost goes down. Ali in desperate trouble. Ali holding on. Frazier trying to end it here in round 11. Muhammad Ali, rubbery leg, obviously in desperate trouble here in the 11th round, and there's the bell. An explosive left to the jaw, and Muhammad Ali goes down. Let's watch this perfectly timed left to the jaw.
Frazier clinched a narrow points victory, and both boxers went straight to hospital. Ali's face was swollen like a football. A few days after the fight, Frazier celebrated in the company of his guests, who included Jack Dempsey, Duke Ellington, and Count Basie. Frazier planned a second career with his own band, the Knockouts.
Last night he said that he didn't think you wanted to fight him again.
Oh, how wrong he is, boy. You know, like right now, I don't have to, after a week or two go by, it'll all come back to me. But right now I want to rest and go home and relieve myself of this sore, swollen jaw.
I'm going to retire till he comes back. I'm going to sing rock and roll till, let's say Muhammad Ali, what y'all call him, I call him Cassius Clay, get ready to come back. I'll retire and spend time with my band until he get ready to come back.
A few months later, Ali was named as challenger to the awesome Foreman, who was now widely regarded as unbeatable.
I never worry about hitting power. That's why he throw him, he draws them back. Hey, watch out, here come the left. Here come the right. Get ready, here come another left. That's what I hear when he's throwing them. So when I don't believe that I'm going to be knocked out and punched around. Experience.
The 30th of October, 1974. 60,000 spectators crowded into the Kinshasa Stadium in Zaire. Ali versus Foreman, the rumble in the jungle, a night immortalized in Norman Mailer's book, The Fight. Each protagonist had accepted the astronomical purse of $5 million, but for Ali, the African soil seemed more important than mere dollars. Before returning to the changing room, Ali went into the ring in order to study it closely. It was rumored that he had the ropes loosened. This was just one of the many myths that surrounded that extraordinary Zairean night.
I see it in the eyes. I see fear in the eyes of all of his followers.
I see fear. This was the fight that Muhammad Ali was supposed to be ended. The myth of Muhammad was supposed to fall. This was supposed to be my destruction. This was supposed to be my destruction.
He was mad. I told you I'm the real champion. I told you I'm the champion of the world. All of you bow. All of my critics crawl. All of you suckers who write the Ring magazine, Boxing Illustrated, all of you suckers bow because the stage was set. You made him great. You made him a bad Joe Louis. You made him a hard puncher. But I want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing. Assalamu alaikum to all the Muslims. Thanks to Almighty God Allah. I want all of you fans out there who believe in me, read the Muhammad Speaks newspapers, go to your local Muslim temple and learn more about the life-giving power from Allah through Elijah Muhammad that I's got. You saw all the white people, the critics, the world, had me ranked to go down. This was that man, and Allah, God was with me, and this man looked like nothing.
A year after Kinshasa, Ali defended his regained heavyweight championship against his old adversary, Joe Frazier. The Thriller in Manila was their third fight and the biggest of them all. Frazier, thoroughly beaten, could not answer the bell for the 15th round. Ali, totally drained, raised a victorious arm before collapsing in the ring. The glory years were gone.
I was so tired, so exhausted, so weak, I barely could walk out of the ring. And they had to carry me out, and I was so down. So I said that this is next to death. The only thing that could have been worse was dying.
The most successful heavyweight of the 1980s was Mike Tyson.
Look, just relax, Michael, relax, just relax. Just relax. Relax. Yeah, but just relax. Just relax. When we first started. Yeah, well, just relax. I can't walk well, remember? Yeah. I'm Mike Tyson. Everybody likes me. Yeah, everyone likes you now. That's right. You have a reason to be proud. Let's go get ready for a fight. Come on.
As young fighters, all the great US post-war champions had won Olympic gold medals: Patterson, Clay, Frazier, Foreman. But Mike Tyson never made it to the Games. Released from a juvenile delinquent center at the age of 13, Tyson was taken under the wing of Cus D'Amato, the trainer who had made Floyd Patterson and who was now intent on molding him.
Hands up when you pull out. You gotta score points when you get his dad. So score points like you're doing the amateurs. And spring to the side. Move your head. Move your head. See that? Tell me something, girl. Fine.
D'Amato died on November the 7th, 1985. He had been like a father to Tyson, and the loss affected him deeply. On November the 22nd, 1986, Tyson fought Trevor Berbick for the WBC title. It was Berbick who had defeated Muhammad Ali 5 years earlier in Ali's final fight. Aged just 20, Tyson demolished Berbick to become the youngest world heavyweight champion in history.
If you get in close and I'll tell you to break your stop punch and step back clean. Any question from the challenger or chief second? Any question from the champion or chief second? All right, let's get it on, come on.
Mr. Tyson.
Tyson and his manager, Bill Caton, came to London to promote his upcoming fight with Frank Bruno. The city slicker bowler hat may have looked absurd, but it was oddly appropriate. By this time, Tyson was already worth $20 million.
Now lift it up. Now a bit more up. I'm 21 now, and I still feel like I'm 15. I had love from Carson and Camille, and I was just happy. You know what I mean? I never thought about making a lot of money, having money and everything. I was just happy. Just plain old fun made me happy. I didn't have as many responsibilities as now.
In the 1980s, TV rights meant that even more money could be made from boxing. There were now 3 heavyweight titles. Tyson beat Bone Crusher Smith to win the WBA title and defeated Tony Tucker to win the IBF title. Tyson became undisputed heavyweight champion.
I'm going down in history, not Mike Tyson. He go down in history as a SOB. If he do happen to win the fight, down the line, he's going to destroy himself.
But sometimes a great old fighter who appears to be shot can pull together one big effort.
Look at Larry Holmes. Look at the jab right here. Look at the jab. It started to stick out and snap.
The former champion Larry Holmes came out of retirement at the age of 38 to challenge Tyson. At the beginning of the fight, Holmes boxed superbly, but Tyson was determined to crush him. The soap opera star Robin Gibbons entered Tyson's life. The king thought he had found his queen.
I could tell you that a person very close to us, he offered him money, $50,000, to help us get a divorce. He said he'd stop at nothing less than our getting a divorce. This is like something out of Dynasty.
With Gibbons, Tyson moved into a glitzier circle, and it was around this time that the boxing overlord Don King began to wield his influence.
Power, power, power. You are playing with power.
Punch-Out! Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
Now we'll see who's the champion and who's the chump.
Tyson confirmed his dominance with a first-round defeat of Michael Spinks. But he was beginning to lose the plot in and out of the ring. There were attacks, rows, accidents or suicide attempts, and divorce. In 1956, Sonny Liston had got into boxing via prison. Soon, Tyson, Trevor Berbick and others would show that the reverse journey was just as feasible. Times had changed, and so had boxing. On the 25th of February 1989, Tyson beat Frank Bruno in Las Vegas, but there were already signs that he was not the boxer he had once been. Bruno had staggered Tyson in the first round, and the once invincible champion was beginning to look like a mere mortal.
As suddenly as that.
Can he beat Nemesis came in the form of James Buster Douglas in Tokyo on February the 11th, 1990.
Douglas coming back with a left and right. Tyson is wobbling. Tyson needs the ropes for support. Douglas wailing away. Without the ropes, Mike would have gone down. A desperate one-eyed fighter. Brawling willingly just to try to get in the shot that will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
On February the 10th, 1992, Tyson was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment for rape. He was released in March 1995.